What's up and welcome back for another Diablo 3 Season 23 build guide. This one's going to be for the Wizard. It's going to be a split between Tal Rasha's and the Firebird set, which saw some changes. Starting with the skills, our primary is going to be Shock Pulse with Piercing Orb. We have Disintegrate with Convergence. We're using Arcane Orb with Frozen Orb, Teleport with Calamity, Storm Armor with Power of the Storm, and then Magic Weapon with Deflection. Our passes will be Power Hungry, Unstable Anomaly, Galvanizing Ward, and Elemental Exposure. If you don't want to use the Cheat Death, you can also swap this out for Illusionist, but I find the Cheat Death to be rather useful. For the gear, we're going to be using 5 pieces of Tal Rasha and 3 pieces of Firebirds. So we'll have the 4-piece set bonus for Firebirds and the 6-piece set bonus for Tal Rashas. For the helm, we want Intelligence, Crit, and Arcane Orb damage. For the shoulders, Intelligence, Vitality, Area damage, and Resource cost reduction or cooldown reduction, but cooldown reduction is not necessarily that important. For the amulet, we're going to be using the Tal Rashas, and we want Crit, and cold damage here with a socket. For the gloves, we want Intelligence, Crit, area damage, or Crit, area damage, resource cost reduction. For the chest, Intelligence, Vitality, Attack Speed, and Armor. Bracers, we're using Blood Bracers. For the shield potency, we want Cold, Damage Increase, Intelligence, Vitality, and Crit Chance. For the belt, we're using Tal Rasha's belt. We want Intelligence, Vitality, Resist All, and Armor. For the pants, we want Intelligence, Vitality, and Armor. For our first ring, we're using Convention of Elements, Intelligence, Crit with a socket. For our other ring, we want Crit, socket as well. For the boots, Intelligence, Vitality, All Res, and Arcane Orb damage. For our offhand, we want Intelligence, Crit Chance, critical hits, gain Arcane Power, and Arcane Orb damage, as well as potentially resource cost reduction and area damage. For our weapon, we'll be using Unstable Scepter. We want damage percentage, intelligence, attack speed, area damage. I don't have area damage on mine, but you want to be able to stack as much area damage for this build as possible. For our gems, our legendary gems, we're going to be using Bane of the Stricken, and then Zystone of Vengeance, and then Bane of the Trapped. For normal gems, we're going to be using, you can use topazes for damage, topaz in the helm for resource cost reduction. You can use an amethyst in the helm for life, or if you want a little bit more armor, you can run rubies in your chest and pants as well. For Paragon, you're going to be wanting to do resource cost reduction, area damage, life per hit, then gold pickup radius. For defense, resist all, armor, life, then life regen. Offense, you want to do crit chance, crit damage, attack speed, and then cooldown reduction. And then for core, put everything into movement speed and then intelligence. If you do have survivability issues, you could potentially dump some points into vitality as well. For the cube and the weapon slot, we're going to be using Wizard Spike. Attacks will occasionally fire off our Frozen Orb. For our armor slot, you want the Shame of Desiree. And signature spells will attack faster and gain more arcane power, which helps us just kind of recover our arcane power a little bit. And then Ring of Roll Grandeur, which makes this whole setup work. For the follower, I'm just kind of using her as a stat stick. In this, we have Eugenie with a immortality token, and then the Oculus Ring that we can stand in when need to, and the Nemesis Bracers, Flavor of Time, Zakara's Shoulders just to eliminate any repair cost, and then her weapon is just Sultans of the Blinding Sands. Her skills, I'm using the Stacked Elemental Damage, the Temporal Pulse, Erosion, and Focused Mind. As far as the rotation goes, when you get into rifts, you're going to want to keep your shield and magic weapon up at all times, using your Arcane Orb, Teleport, Shock Pulse, and Disintegrate to keep your tall stacks up, and then also keeping the 3 stack buff for Arcane Orb when you're casting your signature spell at 3 as best you can, as you can see right here. And when you cast all the other things, as you can see, I'm going to get a Tal Rasha stack. You want to keep that at 4, and then the offhand, you want to be able to keep it at 3 as well. And then kind of group things up, and then whenever you get on a cold cycle for Convention of Elements, you're going to make sure everything that you have in the vicinity is going to have Ignite on them from Disintegrate, and then cast the Arcane Orb to just blow everything up. Pretty simple build. It's really the definition of a glass cannon build. You're not very tanky at all, so you're going to be trying to fight everything at range the best you can, and keeping all these stacks in mind. High damage output, Doesn't move as fast as most builds, but it has very good potential to reach really high GRs. It's a very exciting build. I am not personally a wizard fan. It's not a class that I usually play a lot of, but I think it'll be a very interesting thing to see what it does on the leaderboards for season 23. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button. Let me know in the comments what you kind of plan on doing with season 23, if you're excited about it, all that good stuff. But just like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.